तो अब हम लोग बात करते हैं स्टोरी राइटिंग का पहला टेस्ट। ये जो व्यक्ति है इसने एनसीसी कर रखा है, ये एक स्कूल से पढ़ा हुआ है, इसके पिताजी फौजी थे। आई मीन फौजी माने ही वाज सर्विंग इन द आर्म फोर्सेस, ही इज एक्स सर्विसमैन नाउ। मदर भी टीचर रही हैं, इसने पढ़ाई में ठीक ठाक परसेंटेज प्राप्त किया है। इसके बाद इसके जो गेम्स हैं वो काफ़ी सारे हैं, फुटबॉल है, कुछ हॉकी है, और एक्स्ट्रा हॉबीज़ में भी कुछ पेंटिंग है, ड्राइंग है, राइटिंग है, आर्टिकल्स हैं, और एक्टिविटी में ग्रुप के साथ गाना, कल्चरल एक्टिविटी, ड्रामा, ये सब। जिम्मेदारी में भी ये साहब स्कूल में क्लास मॉनिटर और हाउस कैप्टन रह चुके हैं और अच्छा कर। चलिए इनकी मोटा मोटी बायोडाटा आपको बता दिया। अब बात करते हैं इनकी कहानियों के बारे में कि किस प्रकार की कहानी ये लिखते हैं या लिख सकते हैं या लिखेंगे। क्योंकि ये फौजी हैं और ये तस्वीर इनको दिख रही है, तो जाहिर सी बात है कि इनको अपने पिता की याद आके या पिता से जुड़े हुए जब कभी भी कैंटोनमेंट में रहे होंगे तो उसकी कुछ याद आएगी। क्योंकि ये तस्वीर ऐसे ही कोई कैंपिंग, ट्रैकिंग, जैसे ये एनसीसी में भी रह चुके हैं, उसकी भी उनको याद आ सकती है, राइट। तो इन जनाब ने जो आपने लिखा था वो मिलता जुलता भी डिस्कस करेंगे हम लोग। इन्होंने लिखा कि दिस इज अ एनसीसी कैडेट, वन डे ही वाज कॉल्ड फॉर एनसीसी कैंप। इन्होंने लिखा, सो ही वेंट देयर अर्ली इन द मॉर्निंग and as for the hard work he completed every camping and every details. He made sure कि हर candidate was proper, and once all the cadets were sitting proper he did all the activities of the camping. He explained about the, as he was told to instruct, to explain about firing and other thing he had been explained before, he did that. Thereafter, while in between he was given a small interval, he realized that this is the best time that he can immediately re-energize himself, as he has a lot of other activities in the later part of the day. So along with his friends he took a small nap, छोटा सा आराम किया, and after that he got back into the action, and in that NCC activities in the later part of the day he went on and gave a good lecture or demo as per instruction of the NCC officer. Later on, when the camp ended, he was declared as one of the best cadets of the NCC camp. ये कहानी उसने लिखी। इस कहानी में इन्होंने एनसीसी के बारे में क्यों सोचा? क्योंकि एनसीसी की तरह उनको ये तस्वीर नैप की या सब लोग जब दोपहर में आराम करते हैं उसकी याद आ गई। यस और नो, दोनों ने उस पर बना ली। अगर आप लोग में से किसी ने ट्रैकिंग किया है, कहीं थक गए हैं, कहीं पे आपने किसी कोई काम किया है, वो कहानी से भी आप विचार बना सकते हैं। ये कहानी का एक प्रारूप है। Now what he did was he used this picture, and the first thought he remembered was an NCC. Why did he think? Very clear, he has done the activity. आप में से कुछ लोग शायद एनसीसी पे कहानी ना बनाएंगे क्योंकि आप एनसीसी के बारे में कोई जानकारी नहीं जानते या उस अनुभव से वंचित रह गए हैं। You have been deprived of that experience, so you may not be knowing what story to write in NCC and what really happens in a day or a camp, whatever. So you won't be writing that story. You may go ahead, I'm giving you a proposal, you may go ahead with writing about a candidate who basically gave protection. You may not write him, you may write about him. There was a boy, he was given this duty as he was a part of the soldier. He did this, and then he told everybody that you take rest, and he guarded the whole thing till the night time, so that now in the rotation, when in the morning he told them to take charge, he took a short nap, but later on when they were supposed to do this, he did this. Finally, because of the team effort and proper circulation of duties, they were able to achieve whatever they wanted. Whatever you want. You getting the point? Now, there is any crying in the story? No, they're natural stories. Activity is to be done, activity they are doing. The character has been created because the character is like this. The character you create because you can imagine that much, because the picture is taking you to that imagination. Yes or no? So this is just one of the experiences which I want to give you an extra so that you can understand how to write a story. The story does not have to be written in a rigid format. It can be free format. It should express your thought, but it should have a sensible direction, sensible action and sensible completion. Yes or no? कि भैया कहानी में आप अपने प्रकार से विभिन्न रूप से लिख सकते हैं, पर कहानी की दिशा सेंसिबल होनी चाहिए, एक प्रकार से होनी चाहिए कि वो दिशा दिखे, समझ में आए किधर जा रही है, और पूर्ण भी होनी चाहिए. Am I right? Okay, let's come to the second one. Sorry. This man is beating a woman. Though he is an NCC cadet, he has not done. Now this is a social situation. Just generally showing that there is a drinking bottle, a glass, everything. This gentleman has not written any story which matches the biodata, because this thing does not match the biodata. But this boy wrote a story on a social situation. And his picture story goes that there was a man who was continuously troubling his wife. And he used to often drink and create a problem. So, seeing this, there was a social worker who decided to identify what was the problem. He found that the man used to get very agitated after a long hard work. So whenever he used to come back at home and when he used to drink, the aggression he used to diversify on the woman, which was totally wrong. And he used to beat. He realized that the protecting the woman is very important. So he asked the woman why she's staying with him. He came to know that otherwise the woman likes the man and man is good. But because of his hard work and other things he identified, he's become a a drinking addict. He's become an alcoholist by his nature. So they somehow convinced the man, who was also ready to correct himself, and they convinced him to join the de-addiction camp which they were joining. Right, they convinced the employer also that for the month, if they allow him, the employer, seeing the efforts of the social organization, cooperated, right? So when he cooperated, they took him for a medical de-addiction camp for alcohol. Finally, after a month and a half, he became totally okay. So he returned home and they realized that this problem ended for all. So now what he has done is, he has written a normal story of a social worker. And what he has taken a social problem. And it matches the picture also. The thought is coming from the picture. The psychologists understand that he is not writing a created story, but his story is matching the picture. So he is writing a story which is matching the picture. So number one, he is original. Number two, he is sensible because he has identified the problem. Number three, he is practical in solving the problem. Number four, his thinking of this man as a villain, this person is wrong, is not there. He is sensibly understanding that many a time situational problems do create, and this has to be corrected. So a very positive approach, a very positive solution, a good story. Shows that he can manage emergency because he is able to identify the right solution. Now, in this story, if anybody else is also writing, can rightly may not start with this man, but you can write with a social worker directly. Or if you want to write about a de-addiction camp, you can do that. Or if you want to write about any other situation which is related to a man, it is not justified that a man is beating a woman. So, these kind of beating habits happen where? In mostly poor section of class or people who are addicted to drinking or other things. So they do this. So the story is relevant. He has not made him the hero. He's made him a normal person and solved his problem. Who was the hero? The hero was the NGO worker. Relevant, simple social situation. He created a proper character. If he would have made just anybody, a small boy who saw his father, then he told his father, that story would have been too difficult. But by making a hero which can rightly solve the problem, he made a good story. So is it clear to all of you? You have to think of a situation, you have to think of a hero who can really solve the problem. And that is the way you can really solve your issues also. So is it clear to all of you? Now we come down to the next one. This is a boy playing with a tank and this lady is garlanding a picture. Now this boy has written a story. Though his father is in the army, but he did not write that ways, but he wrote in a different way. Yes, he wrote the same. He wrote that once the officer came to know that one of the Jawan has died in one of the mishaps in his village. And the boy was very small, who used to play with toy. The lady also did not have much of education. So this colonel who was there, he decided to do something for the soldier's family. So he requested the lady to come to him. And then with the help of the other ladies of the unit, including his wife, he requested them that she should be taught certain skill so that she can support her family. Everybody decided to not only educate her, but also make her good in skills. Education so that she can handle her children, study, and skill so that she can earn something for herself. As a result of this effort of the colonel, who gave all the resources, and his wife also worked right across with it, by this team effort they were able to solve the problem of the Jawan's family, and soon the lady was able to support her husband's son, who later on became and joined the armed forces. Can be written. He has written. So there again he has got into a situation. Now suppose it would have been somebody else. Every time people copy YouTube and they try to show that a person had died, then he also joined the armed forces. Not necessary. There has been a very beautiful story by somebody else also, I'll tell you that, where they made a story that so-and-so, one day SP decided to find out about a road accident. So when he reached the home, he found the lady who had lost her husband garlanding the picture of the man. So he went and asked her what was the reason why the accident had taken place. He realized that it was basically because that the accident was basically because they had not been able to see the bus, which had suddenly come in front. So the SP went to the spot. He found out really that the dead-end spot really had a problem, that they could not see the bus. Anybody could not see it. He realized that there was a tree which was blocking the view. He also realized that there was no speed breaker and it was a busy side otherwise. So he immediately, using his resources as a police officer, immediately created situations. He created a speed breaker and cut down the tree, made the vision, and this way no more accident took place. Yes, as being a prominent officer, he also supported the family with an NGO support, who also started supporting the family to get a good way of learning. This way, he was able to not only solve that family's problem, but also the possibility of future accident. Now look at the story. Very simple, but very beautiful. It is comprehensive, not two plots. If it would have been two different plots, it would have been there. But they are interlinked, so he wrote written in a comprehensive manner, acceptable. But if this would have been two different things, then it would have been wrong as double thoughts. Here, the police officer has also solved. There, the colonel had also solved. Both the stories are acceptable, and you will find that it is so. Now we come down to the other one. This is a man dancing with a lady. Now this guy, as he is the son of an officer, he has written that there was a very important program. They were supposed to organize a Mayball dance, and he was given the charge. He realized that they can really have the best of floor clearance. They realized that someplace there was very shiny marble, so instead of having the tiles, he put a carpet on top so that nobody falls down while dancing, and thus also arranged for a proper music, arranged for right lighting, and somewhere he had a system of controlling the light by making it on the lighter side so it does not irritate a person. Plus he also requested everyone to come up with a proper dress so that they can not only enjoy, but he also said to encourage proper dressing, he also set an award for best dress, for best dance, for best steps, and all these kind of things, so that everybody enjoys the dance properly. So everybody, every officer who came with their wife and family, not only did it very well, but they enjoyed it as a very memorable event, and he was appreciated for his organizing. Now look at this story. The story shows the thinking power of the man. But now why the Mayball dance? Because this boy has been exposed to all this, and he understands the organizing. There is another story here of a person who has written about a school farewell party. He's written that in the school farewell party, it was decided that all the students will come in the senior dresses, the girls will come in proper dress, as well as the boys will come in suits. So they all arranged it, but being the organizer, the school captain himself, he made sure that the seniors who were to be given a farewell party who were to be given a farewell party would be identified in terms of their academics. They also wanted to keep the occasion very wonderful so that no untoward incident happens, realizing that in the previous few occasions there had been certain controversial statements, so they requested the teachers to be there in the farewell party so that their watching would not only keep the students in the best of decorum, but they would also enjoy it. Thus the farewell party went very wonderful. They identified the best student, the academic award was also given, the best dancing, the best overall personality award was also given. The principal themselves awarded them. They had collected small funds, and by which they had bought some gifts which was given, and it became a memorable occasion. Now this is another story which has come up. So here the person has written in terms of school. Often the schools, good schools, do give farewell party to their last batch, going senior batches. So it is there. And one, it has also been written as an army fellow, because the child is a army fellow's family. Let's go further. We have a car Tonga accident. There is a Tonga which has got upturned. There is a car, bike fellow studying, this boy, there is a child running, this boy. There are a lot of things. But he rightly identified as a young fellow. Sumit was passing by, he saw car Tonga accident. He saw that a Tonga which was crossing the road was hit by a car which was coming from the opposite direction. And the Tonga uptowed, the horse also had fallen down. He realized that few people who were the passengers in the Tonga had also fallen down. So he immediately, now look at this, what has he done? In the story he has visualized everything and multiplied on the picture that people have fallen down and this has happened. So he's gone into analytical part. So he immediately ran to help the passengers who had fallen down, because realizing they must have been injured. Luckily by quick action they were able to save. One had got the Tonga had fallen over him, so he was trapped inside. So before anything untoward happened, anything negative happened, he was able to get him out. So he was breathing proper, gave them first aid. Meanwhile, the motorcycle rider, the other car drivers, and even the accidenting car driver came forward to help. And then mutually they helped the Tonga fellow, they helped the horse out of the situation. And then by the time the policemen came, they mutually resolved because they realized that the Tonga man was a poor man. So the car fellow also gave contributions and everybody did their needful so that the poor man can carry on with his earning. And after quick action and support, they were able to clear the road for everyone's traveling. Now, what a lovely and simple story. No villain made. Many a time you people make villains. You make that the car driver ran away or this happened. Why do you create villains? Why do you have villains in your mind? Why do you have villains in your mind? I again repeat. Because it is you. It's not the car driver. So tomorrow you have a car and you come across a Tonga accident, you will run away. Or will you help the poor man? Question. Similarly, if somebody, you see an accident, will you go forward and help them? Will you realize that if you don't take quick action, somebody will be trapped inside the Tonga and get injured seriously? Do you understand the pain of the horse also? Do you understand that? Forget the horse. The most important, don't you realize that the horse drivers are generally poor people? If they don't get, if they do not get the horse proper, then they will not be able to live their day-to-day living. So now, we are not dramatizing, but that foresight of thinking beyond in a simple way is important. So, good story again, and this was wonderfully appreciated. There was another boy, as I told you, he has also written similarly. He saw a car Tonga accident. He here wrote as a policeman. A policeman was standing near the crossing when he saw this. He immediately rushed there. He told everyone to help him as a boy was trapped inside the Tonga, and they picked up the Tonga and able to get him out. Meanwhile, the car driver also came. He convinced the car driver that he's a poor man, he should help him, though it was understood that probably the Tonga man was on the wrong direction. Nevertheless, he resolved, and then soon, realizing that the traffic jam will be created, he took the help of others and removed the Tonga to a side, gave the Tonga man some money to get it repaired, also for helping the horse with medicines, and thereafter he allowed the traffic to run. As he was posted there, after some time, he made sure that the Tonga man went happily home. Now, what a lovely story, both of them. In one case, he has shown a character doing it. In the other case, there was a policeman on duty who did it. But both the time, the situations were well resolved. Now, I'm sorry, I'm speaking in English most of the stories because stories are to be written in English. So anyone who plans to object to it, it's okay. You can understand that much. I'm not speaking American English, neither too fast, but relevant. So everybody should be able to understand. Now let's come to this picture. This picture, this boy, the son of an army officer, has written that it was Ravi's father was posted in Samba near Jammu. Now that's an army posting, I guess. Yes. So was posted, and that time Ravi was just 5 years old. His father made all the system of getting. His father was a very loving person. So after his office, he arranged a very good system. He had made a good list of all the guests and called all the relatives he knew of who were nearby, as well as some who were visiting his place, and not only arranged the cake, also arranged good fooding, arranged good games, and Ravi and the kids were allowed to play a lot of games. They had a lovely time. After the end of in the end portion of the party, they had a music system which allowed them to dance. Every children was encouraged to dance, and finally it ended up with the good food, and thus a memorable event. Ravi was very thankful to his father. He went and thanked his father. Now this is a beautiful story which is written in terms of memory of his past. Probably his father must have been posted in Samba, which is near Jammu, as I guess. So here he has again thought of his father as an organizer, but he has also written some portion of his organizing, how he made a list, what all he did. So now what he has written, he has created a hero in his father. And as a memory, he has he has told us how subconsciously he has learned from his father how to organize properly in a systematic manner. Now, if you are learning consciously, subconsciously, but you can think sequentially for an organizing, I think we would love to have that quality in you via story also, in real life also, and probably select you for the armed forces. Is it clear? Now the other person has written a story about a party organizer. A party organizer was told to arrange a party for a small child whose father was out, so he called his uncle and other people to be there with the mother, and also requested other people and the neighbors. So when his father, who had requested him to make it memorable, in spite of his absence, he made a wonderful party, and the party he systematically organized. That's it, yeah, he systematically organized, and finally the party was memorable. Now, such a simple story, but look at the way the person has written. A normal thing. Nothing unusual. Nothing unusual. So, but systematic thought process. The kind of thought process matches the picture, matches the quality which we want, organizing quality, shows a certain amount of planning. So that is something which is beautiful.